Obuzibu bw'Abannayuganda ne ku mirimu yonna gye bawangaalira lwe lugezigezi olusukkiridde. Munnayuganda aweebwa omulimu, aweebwa chance n'aweebwa omulimu oba n'asembezebwa yonna gy'awangaalira mu bantu abo bawangaaliramu n'emirimu gy'akola, n'asembezebwa ku mwanjo oba n'aweebwa obuvunaanyizibwa. Obuzibu bw'Abannayuganda lwe lugezigezi nti omuntu oyo ayagala akyunge, afuge, aleete obukwakkulizo afugiremu ne bakama be. Subira kino kye njogera ggwe mpuliriza wali oki nzeeko, wali okigobereddeko oba wali okirabyeko n'oba toki-experiencingaako. Abaana abavubuka bangi nnyo emirimu gibatawaanya, abalala tebatereera ku mirimu yonna gye bagenda ku lwa lugezigezi olwo, nti talina waasobola kubeera n'agumiikiriza luluzizaawo oba okubeera ng'awa bakama b'ekitiibwa oba okuwuliriza omulundi ogumu n'akkiriza okukolera under someone. Abasinga bangi abasomyeko ajja na lugezigezi olwo lw'ebitabo, so ng'ate ne gwajja okusaba omulimu gw'akolera ayinza okuba taweza yadde diguli eyo gy'alina oba certificate oba kyonna ky'alina. Bakama bammwe abasinga abalina zi bizinesi ezitudde weesanga nga tebaasoma nnyo kisukkiridde, kyokka gwe yasoma oluusi n'osembezebwa. Bayinza okukusembeza mu ngeri nnyingi. Oli n'akusembeza nti jangu obeere patina mu kampani yange, jangu obeere kino mu kampani yange. N'akusembeza n'akuwa obuyinza mu ssomero lye, n'akusembeza n'akuwa obuyinza mu kitongole kye, naye gwe n'okozesa obuyinza obwo bubi n'oliisa abalala akakanja, n'obazinya oluguje, n'obatwala akayirigombe, kubanga gw'omanyi ebintu birina kukolebwa nga ggwe b'olowooza, so ng'ate gwe engeri eyiyo gy'olowooza eri ideal. Ono yatandikawo omulimu ogwo gw'okola teyabeesinga ku ndowooza yo, yagenda real. Gw'ojja ne ideal mind mu kusaba omulimu ng'olowooza nga bwe wabisoma bwe bigenda okugenda into application, naye ng'ate application ndala, experience ndala, practical ebintu birala byawukanamukko, going by the status quos oba going by the situations available or prevailing situations. N'osanga nga gwe olina ebintu gy'obirowooza engeri gye wabisomamu bwe birina okuba, naye nga in reality practically the world dictates otherwise. Olwo nno n'otandika okuguguba n'ofuukira abantu strict, n'ofuukira abantu ekizibu, abantu ne baba nga tebakwatagana naawe, oba nga gwe kennyini ne weegoba lugezigezi. Bangi mu mikwano gyaffe tubalabye, omuyita n'omugamba nyina ekirowoozo, nyina business plan, nga si yagirina wabula n'omugamba nyina business plan, twalibadde tukole kino nakiri nga gwe master planner, era ng'oli willing oteekamu ssente zo mutandike business ku magezi go, ku ssente zo, ng'oluusi ekyomwetaagamu company na endorsement guarantee kugarantinga mutambule. Naye n'osanga oluvannyuma lw'ebbanga nga mumaze okutambula oba wakati eyo mu lugendo lwammwe olwa bizinesi yammwe, ng'omuntu oyo gwe waleeta obuleesi ate afuuse enkoligo, afuuse ow'obukwakkulizo obungi, afuuse akuteekamu, akugamba akuteeka ku nninga okufuukira ekizibu, so ng'ate omuntu oyo wamuproposinga buproposinzi. Bantu bangi beefulidde bannaabwe mu bintu bingi, nga watandika naye mu ngeri yakulowooza nti omuyambye ajje mubeere bumu, mutambulire wamu, mufaanagane. Mwana wattu wakati mu lugendo ye n'akwefuulira, bw'atafuuka wa lugezigezi kusimba kakongolijjo yeefuulira gwe kennyini, ate yeefuulira atandika okukyusa ebigambo oba neyekangabaliza mu bakozi banne oba abantu banne. Wakati mu kiseera nga gwe toli willing kwolona bizinensi yo, emikwano bwegito gye tusembeza gyo giba ready n'okukusaanyaawo, giba ready okukujja mu ntebe mwotudde, wakiri bo bateekewo gwe bapropose. Ekyo tukirabe mu bibiina bingi ng'ebyabakozi nga biina babitandikawo, mu bibiina ebirala bingi n'amakampani g'abantu aga bulijjo. Abantu bangi tekikomako eyo level eya CEO, kigenda ne ku level y'abantu b'owansi. Omwana Kadama bamujja wano nga talina bwali, ng'alomba omulimu tagulaba, atambuza akatogo akooye, ne bamutuusa mu Bawarabu. Sigamba nti abamututte be bamutulugunya, wabula Omuwarabu n'atandika okumutulugunya, oba ye kennyini n'atandika osika omuguwa n'Omuwarabu oyo. Nosanga omwana omuwala oyo decision gy'addako okuteekinga ngeri overzealous against eri oyo eyamufunira omulimo. Ne weebuuza kakati ate yamufunira omulimo bimukwatirako wa? Yatandika ddi okuceekinga ate gwe yakuguza. Tekikomaawo, lugezigezi lweruleetera abaana abawala, abavubuka n'abalenzi okubeera nti bafuna okusomozebwa tebateredde ku mulimo. Omulimu gwogwo gukulemye okutereerako ku lw'olugezigezi olususse. Gwalingiriza bino, gwogwo bassa ku station n'ofuukira banne akayirigombe, obakaliramu mu kino n'obakaliramu mu kiri, mukamaawo naye kennyini kati wamufuukira kizibu, talina mirembe so nga teyagulawo bizinensi eyo asobole okuba nga yeetaaya ng'alina freedom. Kakati ye gwe yagala okussa ku pisto atandika okunnyonnyola gwe byolowooza. N'olwekyo njagala kubabuulira openly mu nkola eriyo ey'obuntu, kekibe kitongole ki, kekibe kibiina ki, kibaako abakitandikawo. Let's respect these people. Let's respect our bosses abatandikawo olugendo lwo okugenda eyo gye wagenda. Respect them. Bw'oba weekyanga ng'otandika okulaba mukamaawo ng'omubi ng'omwefuulira, jjukira olunaku lwataakuzira. Teyakuzira mu bantu bonna be yali ayagala okuwa emirimu yalondamu ggwe. Tasobola kumala kukuleeta ate n'atakwagala. Asobola okuba nga wakati awo atandise obutakwagala ng'asinziira ku mpisa zo n'eyisaayo, reactions zo, ne yeesanga nga kye yalaba mu kifaananyi si kyalaba. Oba si ekyo ne bakussa mu position emu. Leka kuliisa banno kayirigombe oba kanja. Ne otuuka okwekokkola nti gundi oyo yangobesa ku mulimu kubanga yali anfuukidde ekizibu, buli kaseera yannemerako ku kino na kiri, yalemera ennyo ku kino na kiri, ne bakama bammwe mubawuuzikanya mu ngeri y'emu mu abaana abavubuka ab'olugezigezi oba ab'engezigezi. Bakama bammwe abasinga mu mbeera eyo ey'obukama tebaagala babuuza bibuuzo, tebeetaaga kubassa mu kaguli oba okuddaawo omulemereko. Ekyo kiri mu settingi yaffe ffenna ng'Abafirika. Okuggyako nga gwe totegeera bulungi akeera ku makyo netikukalira mu mukamaawo. Mukama w'omuntu taddibwamu. Ayinza okuba akoze ensobi, you can find an amicable way to reach, to blame or to correct him, but not okumuyimiriramu. Kyekimu ku bibagobesa ku mirimo, kyekimu ku bibaleetera okusika emiguwa n'abantu. Kusika miguwa n'abantu, butaterera ku bifo, because gwe kennyini walema okwekyekinga nti oli muzibu, olina olugezigezi. Bwe bakuwamu bwe bati nti vugamu, kwegamba ate okisussa gye bakuwadde ovuga ogifuula nga yiyo, kwegamba kikuzibuwalira okumanya wookoma. Afumiitiriza ndowooza osobola otegeera kyengezako okunnyonnyola. Lugezigezi lubasukka. Kyova abamu mmwe being overzealous, n'otuuka ebweru eyo n'otandika okuttunka ne mukamaawo, okuba mukamaawo, weerabidde dda nti oyo ye mukamaawo. omuddamu bino omuddamu biri era ng'olinda ekisa kye oyagala akusaasire nga gw'omaze omuvuma. Tubeere bavunaanyizibwa, tukkakkane. Bw'oweebwanga omulimu beera mwetoowaze, beera omuwuliriza. Take instructions as per what your boss is instructing you to do, not as you wish. Totandika kuwishinga bibyo. Ekirala, observation of the system. Manya system mwokolera bwetambula. When you enter a new system of service, always master the people who are working in that system. Master how the system works. Get to know the strengths and the weaknesses of this system. Always respect so much the founders of that system because they have a MasterCard. They may be envisioned somehow, somewhere in a different way than what you think. Accounts n'ebiki byonna bye wasoma mu ssomero may not be exactly those skills you acquired from the university or school. May not be necessarily the skills your current company boss wants. Some company bosses actually have not gone ahead to apply any commerce into the beginning of their businesses. Therefore, little do they even understand or want to dwell into such bureaucracies or technicalities. Some of them, their businesses have thrived without all that you are talking about. Therefore, suggest it with caution. It is not bad, but when you are bringing it for purposes of order, business organization, try to always find a way that can amicably appease or please your boss. You don't just jump on your boss because you want to practice what you learned in a university or in a school. That tendency of as it was, that's how it will be forever and ever, is what we call brainwash. You go brainwashed, you want to repeat the same things without having a mindset. Your boss may have a mindset, even though your mindset as a worker may be different also. Your mindset from the university may be dictating you writing a routine report, a daily report, because that's what they told you, that a good manager, a good social worker writes reports every day. That is in your mindset. You may have even acquired it through eating regurgitations of in a Western culture or anywhere, which you did not propose yourself, but because they told you, that's how they do it. So you crammed that. And that is in your mindset. Your mind was set in that way or in that format to always respond to problems as such. But remember, your boss did not start that company based on the mindset. No. Some people have actually initiated organizations, companies, and so many entities or whatever enterprises by a mindset. Get the difference between the mindset and the mindset. Your mindset is nurtured, and the mindset is what is envisioned. Somebody may be envisioned to be somewhere, and in his mindset, he knows the journey he's taking is full of potholes. The journey he's taking is full of rivers that may need bridges to put all over so that he can cross over to reach wherever he sights the success. So somebody may know exactly what he wants, what he dreamt. He may not specifically have a clear road to that. Actually, he is determined. Such a person who has already started an idea, he is determined to take it in whichever way, no matter what. However rough it gets, however much it rains or shines, this person, you may find this person determined to continue. But for you who is having a mindset, you may not even be able to start, because you were told that first time before you start, for instance, you must have a working license. You must first have gone to school. You must have some skills. You must have some ABCD. That is the mindset. And that may resist, may prevent you, may keep you within the comfort zone, not to start at all, not to do anything. Because you were trained, you were tamed, you were told that that's how it is done better. For instance, city councils or people start up businesses in city councils and different towns and cities. How do they start? I mean, the business people, the self-made people. Do they normally first go to city council before they open up a shop? No. Before they dream to go to China and begin dealing in a trade or a certain commodity, do they first seek approval from KCCA? No. Does someone who wants to operate a medical center need to first go and get a license from the medical school or whatever, the medical council, before he even sets up this center? No. For instance, when you want to register an organization, do you go to seek recommendations when you do not exist in that area? No. Even the authorities know that something must exist, must have been existing somewhere before they recommend it. You don't go to seek a recommendation when you are not existing. They believe that you will exist roughly, you will exist illegally first, and then you go to acquire a clearance. That is it. But they will not mention it in the law. They will not tell you that you needed to to get licensed before you started working. But people have started operating. The risk takers have operated, have taken a chance to be inquisitive enough and went beyond what you call the ordinary, just to discover their mindset, just to follow their mindset, not the mindset you have. So if you are still a worker and you want to keep that position, that category of being a worker, just to know you are carrying a mindset, which is by what you learned, by what the skills are dictating, by what the commands of your boss are. It's what you will do, whether right or not. You've got to follow that, and that is also another level. If you choose to leave that, it's fine, well and good. You can keep earning a salary and keep on salary, or keep on the volunteership, because you choose to offer a skill which you also just mastered or just crammed or learned somewhere and acquired, its credentials. But do not joke around the people who initiate, the innovators, the people who initiate ideas, the dreamers, the starters. I mean, the CEOs, the bosses of your company. Do not joke around them, because they are ready. Okutala Afia. They have done whatever it takes. Whether the journey needs bridges or it has rivers, wherever they are heading, they will say they will start the journey. And then they will get to cross the river when they get there. So certain things you may fear to start or to do, these people in industrial settings, in organization settings, in company settings are determined. They have already determined to take it rough no matter what. They are ready to go and be workable. They are ready to go in any way possible for as long as they get to reach there. Their aim is to head to the moon. Even when they don't reach or get a chance to reach the moon, to land on the moon, then they fall among the stars. I mean, oftentimes you have seen the people who are silver in nature. They are not so prominent, but they have been famous, or they have contributed to this world. Even though there are those who are also so famous, whom we regard that have reached the moon, they have hit the moon. They have shot the moon. The successful ones, the Bill Gates of this world, the Jack Ma's, the masks of these days, or this world. So you try to also follow such traits and understand how to deal with such traits, because these traits are the people who are employing you. They are the founders of your business. They are the initiators of what you are going to ask for as a job. You don't joke around them. Some of them are genius. What they may see right behind the shade, you may not see it. You may see it wrong. A genius will tell you, I can sleep outside and I achieve something. But a coward will tell you, no, I fear there. I cannot sleep outside. He will bring all the criteria and all the rules of how people should sleep in the house, how people should sleep well, how people should do ABCD. It is very dangerous to sleep outside, but a genius who wants to earn or to do something new out of sleeping outside will tell you, I can sleep there. What you call a risk, he will take it. The businessmen have risked to do certain things in a way that people don't even believe, or you yourself, you can't attempt. But for them, they have tried and finally they are successful. They have ventured in different commodities, which you cannot even risk. That even your mind to think about it feels like, yeah, you're wasting your money. How can you go back in coffee and begin buying coffee? Coffee business is down, because you hear propaganda of coffee business is down. But those who are risking and go to begin this business are earning enormously, and the next day will be pronounced as some of the rich people around. But they risked, they took time, they took a chance to go in deep in the horizons. Therefore, tewewunya abantu abo. Don't wonder why your boss is sometimes isolating or distancing away from you. It's not so common to you. Some bosses are even so funny. They don't show that they are bosses for reason that they are envisioned. They carry vision, but for you are carrying a mind. So respect them. That's why the problem of unemployment is also increasing, because people certainly or uncertainly do not have time to even be patient or understand that, or even to create themselves, because they got no reason. There's a writer who wrote and said that if you don't have a reason, then you cannot create, which is true, the statement in itself. What can you create when you don't have a reason? You must have a reason to create. Like God created the world, created everything that is in it for a reason, for a purpose of we praising Him, believing in Him. So how do you expect then you yourself, if you cannot create? Okay, it's okay. You can become a creature. What is being created? But when your boss is trying to create you as a manager, when your boss is trying to create you as a field officer, is trying to create you as someone by bringing you close, when any founder of a certain business or any CEO of your company or any whatever tries to bring you on board, he's trying to create you. And therefore, you should proclaim yourself. From there, respectfully. I mean, you have to respect yourself and respect the people who are creating you, giving you a position to position yourself. Some famous managers have been positioned by these initiators. And if you follow up meticulously within behind the curtain, you may find that the initiators of these good entities are not learned. They're not so much educated. But because they were envisioned. That's the difference. Respect the people who are envisioned. Respect the people who have a dream. Mwebalugezigezi team bakulese uyingidde ekibiina ky'abanno okisanze kitambula otandise okikyankalanya osuggestinga bino oleeta biri. you don't respect the people who initiated such a thing. They are envisioned. They have a mindset. They may not be doing things as you want for a purpose. Maybe for shortage of funding, for shortage of so many things that may be barring them from doing it the way you want to do it as professional as you were coached. But maybe let alone, things may turn, and then you have a chance actually to exercise your professionalism there, but not with rugezigezi. Some of you have been dropped out of jobs because of rugezigezi, going too much, infringing too much into your boss's freedoms. You want your boss to be so much strict. I mean, you want to be strict on your boss over your contract, as if you're not a human being, forgetting that a contract is a two-way. One of you can breach it, either the employer or the employee. Therefore, you become too much because your boss has violated a certain clause or article in your contract, forgetting you can also break one someday, which may necessitate or call for your boss's mercy. But have you been merciful for the boss you are blaming right now? Tying a hard knot, putting a very hard, strong bridge, a strong wall to curtail the job, to finish the job because your boss has not or has delayed somehow, somewhere in paying your salary. Therefore, you want to close the chapter and you don't have time for negotiations. Most of you have blundered and made this mistake because your mindset tells you you were supposed to be paid a salary. So you do not flex a bit, even when your boss has issues that needs you to understand. For you, in your mindset, right from Uganda, you will go knowing that bangamba sasula emitwalo kyenda. Kati wekituuka, you don't care whether your boss has lost someone, a relative, a loved one, or not. That very day, for demanding salary, when it comes, you begin demanding salary without using common sense, because your mindset was set for you to demand salary, forgetting that the mindset of your boss is different from your mindset. The mindset of your boss in you sees someone who should understand her, who should help her, who is a helper, a trusted fellow to live along, to live together, which you're not doing or which you're not envisioned to see. For you, in your mind, you have one thing: I am here to be used, and when I finish, I go. Even I can go right now, at any time. I am scared to go, I can leave. But your boss's vision or sight is far, even beyond your contract, to give you another term. You have not seen that. You have not realized that. That's why you are taking a stupid decision according to your mindset. You are responding to your boss or reacting to your boss in a very bad way because you don't see far. You don't remember the future. You don't know what will happen. Such issues have affected you, migrant workers. It has affected more of the youth, mainly those of Uganda, because of how you think, what you were told, what you were coached. So you come by what you were coached. Little do you know that after some time, the nonsense you are speaking will turn now to be regrettable. Most of you are in resentment now, regretting why you reacted towards a certain situation as you did. So you are here feeling small. You have overreacted with your boss. To your boss in Saudi Arabia. You beat him up while you were demanding your return. He finally released you. Now you are in Uganda, but he released you with a ban. You were banned. You created the anger onto your boss, and your boss got angered and eventually subjected the same anger to you. You have jeopardized your boss's future, your boss's sight. The boss's mindset was different about you. Little did he know that you were really an impatient person, a complicated person with a fixed mindset. You can have a mindset, no problem. But the best mindset to have is that we call the growth mindset, not a fixed mindset, which normally makes you blunder, which normally makes you rigged, which makes you always think things must be done as they were, in the past, because that's what they are, even that's how they should be, forever and ever. Therefore, they must continue even if situations change, whether it rains, shines, it goes to winter or summer. Things should remain the same. No. But your boss has a different mindset in you, that whether it rains or shines, this is my worker, this is my servant. Whether I have money or not, she's my servant. When I get the money, I'll pay. This is the mindset of your boss. But for a good person, a responsible person who has gone to school or who has been trained, even if you don't go to a higher institution of learning, but you know this in common sense, magezi mazari, you understand, gets to have what we call the growth mindset. He uses the growth mindset. Even though I am going to live in a different culture, in a different country, in a different situation, in a different environment, I need to teach myself how to blend in. That's what we mean by a growth mindset. I have got to restrain myself from resisting or resistance, but persistence. I have got to train myself to learn to adapt to new changes, other than me carrying my own mind that was taught to me in a training center or when I was leaving Uganda, based on hearsay. I was told, my company told me that wherever you see this, please do this. So you go coached to do that. But for a person who has common sense and uses the mindset, which is growth, which is growing, he will keep adjusting where necessary. He will always know when to adjust, when to pull down guns, and when to raise them. Not always to be there because I was told this is how things are done. Things must be done this way. Hello? Yes, the ideal might be that, but the reality is different. You must learn to go to respect situations such as they are. You must learn, you must teach yourself to respect decisions, to take chances and opportunities such as they are. Other than you wanting to take things as you think or assume. Situations will come to you, but once you learn to accommodate them, then you become a survivor. You'll become one person who will win. This is what the uneducated people, the uneducated ones, our mothers, our fathers are using to be rich by now, because their vision, their sight, so that when they were growing, when they were trying to grow up as adults, they were supposed to plan for a future of their own. Some of us, our parents are rich in town here, but simply because they own property, which property did not buy too much actually, but because they had a vision. And if they wasted the same money and they did not acquire this property, maybe you wouldn't be mentioned among the rich men's daughter around town here or son. So it's about that mindset and not the mindset. Get the difference. If you choose to go by the mindset, you can know. Go learn the Arabic culture. Go learn how the Arabs do their things. But when you reach there, try to know, adapt yourself. Margin, get to adapt within this culture without being rigged, without getting fixed. You go to Saudi Arabia when you already know what the Arabs want and you try to follow that. You don't go there with a different mind. That because it is not good to torture someone, it is not good to, you go cramming, you cram things. You reach there, somebody does not have an intention to cheat you, but you've already asserted. This one is a cheater, is a thief. You are asserting and you are rushing to judge. He's a thief, he has not paid my money. But even other people that have been working, they have once in lifetime been denied or delayed the salary. They never committed suicide. They never abused their bosses. Some of them have been delayed somehow, somewhere, but eventually they were paid. How about you? So isawa buli omu sit down olowooze nnyo nga tonatandika kugamba nti jakukolera ku byagundi bye yaŋŋamba kubanga bwatyo bwe yabiŋŋamba ne bwe naatuukayo nga si bye biriwo. Nati baŋŋamba omusajja w'omunju y'Omuwarabu bw'aba ayagala kukwata mu kkubo luyi, kubira poliisi. Owulira, yita jjajjaawo, yambala engoye weekyange kyangu awo okwate ensabo yo ogende ku office, omugambe akutwale ku office. You go when you have crammed that nonsense. You reach Saudi Arabia. This man is used to assisting the maid. Maybe the previous maid was being tortured by the wife. And this man has gotten used to he knows exactly how misbehaved, how badly how his wife is. You know? And he's very much worried about you, that you may not be, you may be going through hardship. This gentleman, the baba of the house, walks to you, just maybe wanting to hear from you secretly. What is the problem? Are you fine? Are you safe? Are you okay? But during the process, when this man is coming to talk to you, or trying to crack a joke around you, because your mind was set that you don't talk to this man in this house, you will just slap this boss. Or perhaps maybe your boss is bringing money to pay you, or is tipping you just to thank you for the extra work you do. As it is recommended that extra work must be paid for. So your boss brings this money, gives it to you, and the next day, what comes in your mind? Because you were told in Uganda, these men, when they give you money, you just don't they want to rape you. So they want to force you sex. So your mind goes to that. You begin judging, you assert and talk much. You begin now conducting yourself in a weird manner. Most of you have messed up like that. Because you heard that the Arabs have many genes and they have so much whatever, Arabic juju. Therefore, when you reach there, whatever knocks, even when a small insect falls over the door, you run and say there are many things in this house which are banging doors, you know, they are talking, I hear them talking. And then you begin creating stories without you actualizing, using the other growth mindset that in this situation, maybe it has only happened to me here. It has never happened to someone else. How do I have to pronounce it? How do I bring it up? If it is okay, a situation that is affecting me, how do I go about it? Gain its experience without even me losing a job or having to lose my contract. But most of you have chosen to lose your contract because you want to satisfy your mind, which is fixed. You have decided to say, let me go home because mukama wange yanyimye emmere y'okusibulukirako, nze kakati njagala genda waka, mivuddeko olunaku lumu nanyima ekyokulya nansibira wano, ngenda kufa. Ogenda kufa. You are judging. You did not tame yourself to learn to merge, to learn to change and adapt and suit into the new environment as such as it comes. You will not learn to take opportunities or chances as they come. Therefore, you are always messed up. You are what you are because of what you choose to be. You are choosing that situation yourself. I want to tell you today. In whichever situation you are in, you are choosing it yourself. Kadama, Uganda. You choose it simply because you have failed to change. You have failed to envision yourself to look far. You change from the status of a mindset to a mind sight. Learning to see far creates you. Learning to see far, to see the picture, to draw the bigger picture and put the roadmap, whether rough or whatever, you get determined to enter that road and begin carrying to achieve, doing anything, whatever it takes, no matter what, to go and achieve the bigger dream you are chasing. Not everybody will see that. It's only you. It's only you. This is what the rich men do. They sit down and realize problems in the communities and sit down to look for solutions. You may not know when they are suggesting things or when they come up with an idea, but they have sat down and actualized over these ideas. Eventually you find these ideas working once they are brought to us and people buy them in millions. And that's how they accumulate wealth. What have you initiated? What have you created yourself? Some of you are just jokers, time wasters, part-time thinkers. That when you have even an opportunity to live within a community or a circle of people, you do not want to create yourself within that, to procreate yourself. You're always the problem over others. All you enjoy is jokes, bullying others, intimidating and undermining your bosses, talking against them. They may look small, kacheks, whichever size they are, but these people have dreamt beyond the ordinary, beyond you, the job seeker. Respect their nature, whatever, in whichever way they look, ramshackle, do whatever, they have been envisioned. You can take an example from the prophets of God. There were people who used to be ignored, but they carried a huge message to which we are all basing some of our religious arguments and belief. They were not the richest, even though they turned out to be the famous people all over the world. So sit down and try to create yourself. Create. If you can't create, respect the creators. That's why we respect God, because he's our creator. Because what he creates, none of us can try. The whites have tried to bring their science. They have created to try to create computers, but they don't know how to make bread and how to create a life. I mean, that soul. If by now they know how to create a soul, God would be resting. Maybe he wouldn't need to create more babies or to recreate through sexual activities. But because they cannot go beyond that science, which is the only reserve to God, they remain as they are. However, they are some of the richest because of trying to claim the position of creation. Just by applying artificial intelligence. Look at how much money is being exploited out of us because of these smartphones, including the one I'm using. Artificial intelligence. They are going an extra mile to use whatever chances they are, and some of them are school dropouts. They may not have too much degrees, which you carry. But because for you want to come out of school crammed. When your lecturers have regurgitated into your head, you come out and you want to even infect everyone with your regurgitations. No. You should learn to be real, be practical, go by the world as it is. Learn to face it as it is. You are lucky. You have gone there to see how things, you have learned to see how things happen. Therefore, you can use that knowledge to create yourself. Don't expect people to understand you. If you are going to be there to make everyone understand you, then you are wrong. Normally, we have a saying that when you are dancing on a beat of a different drama, you don't expect people to understand you. Everyone should say that. When you are dancing on a beat of a different drama, you don't expect people to understand you. This is a piece the rich people have mastered. They do not want to hear your excuses. I mean, once they want to do anything, they get determined to do it. By hook or crook, by all means. Whether it needs them or requires them to go to the moon, they do. But for you are sleeping, you don't want. All you can do is to pretend to be the checker. Hope you got my message. I mean, recreation and creation can be done at any point in time. You can also create yourself. People, have created themselves within the working environment they have been assigned a job to do. You can become a manager, a supervisor, or you can start as a cleaner and you end up like a manager. That is creation. You have exercised a level of being a manager than a cleaner. And that's why your bosses, the founders of your institution, are choosing to raise your level, your position to the level of a manager, supervisor, or another position. Learn to create yourself and do not become a menace over others. Tofuka warugezigezi, respect creators, such as you may need the same respect whenever you will create. I hope I have made a very difficult message to you to understand. But I know it is very important for you to understand. It may be very difficult. I know some of you adamant if you want to remain in comfort and you do not want anyone disturbing your peace. Hello? So when I come up with my words disturbing your peace in the mind, you will hate me for nothing. I don't care. You can hate me now. I have said it. Try to know your limits. Create. If you can't create, please obey the rules. That's how you will get created. Thank you.